Aloha, shalom. Good to see you all here tonight. So we have the new moon. To be exact, it's tomorrow. But I have some things I need to do tomorrow, so here I am. I'm setting up my space, and you guys could do the same. Okay, you may be tuning in live right now. You may be watching the recording later, but just make sure you're comfortable, so have your water wherever you are. I haven't done an indoor activation in a while, so I'm not in our usual spot. That's all right. I'm just going to go ahead and set up my little cards here while you all tune in. And wherever you're tuning in from, just go ahead and drop a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Where are you in the world? Where are you in the world? Let me know where you're tuning in from. So I got some feedback from you guys as far as using the Hebrew letters versus the tarot. And I'm wondering what you all think of that. A couple of people requested that I connect the tarot to the Hebrew letters. For those of you who are new, by the way, these activations happen every single week and they've been going on for a few years. And we get our brothers and sisters who tune in from places all over the world, so it's pretty neat. And for all these years, I've been using the tarot to do these activations, but I wanted to do something new. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been using just the Hebrew alphabet to kind of show you guys that the tarot, or the royal path, is not just a deck of cards, but it's really in all things. So I show that, I demonstrate that by connecting the tarot to the Hebrew alphabet. So as I was saying, for those of you who are new, these have been going on for a few years. It actually has nothing to do with the moon. Okay, the activation doesn't have anything to do with the moon. It's just that we use the moon as a measurement of time to divide our monthly collective cycle, collective consciousness, into 4 parts. It gives us an easy way to track these activations and to align at the same time to be able to expand this portal as widely as possible at the same time. For those of you who have a favorite light worker, indigo child, starseed, whatever group, you know, self-awareness, self-realization, meditation, you know, group reflections, community vibes, all that. If you have a favorite group that you want to share this to before we start the reading, that would be awesome, so we can get as many of our fam, as many of our tribe on board to create the space. But again, remember, like I say every week, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. So we don't need to create a space. We just need to tune into the infinitely expansive one that already exists. And that's the heart. So tune in there. That's where I'm at. I'm here now, and I'll meet you here now in the heart. Whatever you've been carrying with you today, in mind or in emotions, feelings, set it aside just for this moment. I'm asking that, and I'm giving thanks in advance for our openness and receptivity in a way that is going to help us reach our fullest potential right now as one. We're giving thanks to the One for helping us in this moment to set all things aside, even those things that we've been carrying for days, for weeks, for months, maybe pain you've been carrying for years, maybe lifetimes. We're asking and giving thanks for this to happen right now, because we're doing work for the highest good. And when you're doing work for the highest good, you have the absolute right. If you know in your heart you're really genuinely, authentically doing that high work, that work for the truest, highest good, then you must know that the universe, God, Great Spirit, Hashem, whatever you want to call it, will absolutely assist you in removing whatever blockages there are. So you got to know that right now before we begin. Even if it's something you haven't been able to put down and you feel, oh, it's impossible. How all of a sudden in this moment am I going to be able to set it aside? Because the universe is a divine design. It's an intelligent design. And everything is really rigged in our favor. But in favor of our highest good. Not what our ego thinks is good for us. But our highest good is one. When we're genuinely working toward that, then of course the universe will assist us however possible to do this work, this good work. So believe it, know it, and it is so. Okay, so I've just been shuffling you guys into the deck. Go ahead and put your energy into my mini little deck here. Okay, these are the Hebrew letters on cards. I've been making a new deck. I can't wait to show you all. So this is the last time you're going to see this little one. So go ahead and connect with all your might, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being. And you could do that however you want. It could be a feeling, it could be a vision in your mind's eye, it could be you see a thread of light going from your inner eye to the deck or from your heart to the deck. Or you can feel as though you're in this space with me right now. Or you can also feel as though you're connected to everybody that's live with us right now. Or if you're watching the recording later, you can feel all the people before you who have been weaving this light connecting to you now. Okay, it's the new moon, so remember, the light of the moon is reflecting the light of the sun, is reflecting the light of the one that is inside of you. So what is new within us today and all around us today? What is the moon only a reflection of for what's going on deep inside of ourselves? What is the current challenge that we're starting off with as we begin this new chapter this month? What is the current challenge? And of course, you guys know this is going to be for the collective, but also the individual, right? That's how it goes. As with one, so with all. So what is the challenge we're starting off this cycle with? And remember, challenge equals gift. Challenge equals chariot. Okay? So we have, I'm going to show you what I'm pulling. All right. We have the challenge first. And then what is the new thing that we're creating this month? What's in our future? What are we building? What are we building? That's what I keep hearing right now. What are we building? Okay, I'm going to start there. But first, hydrate. Before I pull them, for those of you who are new and you haven't seen these activations before, don't trip out. It's not some far off, far away, far out experience where you're going to see some weird, channeling or no. It's a simple message that is a timeless truth, that is a universal truth, timelessly applicable. So really any of these cards that we pull will have some piece that we can relate to. All of these cards represent a piece of archetypal wisdom that lives within us always, each moment. So of course, all of them are relative. However, the ones we pull because of law, because of universal law, because of natural law, the ones that we pull will be the priority focus. That's all. So it's simple. Don't trip out, okay? I'm not trying to claim to know what's best for you. I don't have to, because these messages are simple. We take it to the root, and it's, like I said, it's applicable anytime for anyone. So the challenge, the Yud. Interestingly enough, the Yud is connected to the Wheel of Fortune, as you guys know, Arcanum 10. And that's the class we just did on Wednesday. That was our last class. We do weekly classes. Ask me about it if you want to go deeper with that. Private message me. So we just did the wheel. The wheel's actually still on my altar as we speak. It's on my new moon altar right now. The Yud is the smallest letter in the alphabet. It's said that the Yud is the little that represents a lot. It's like when you put your pen down on a paper to draw something, and it's that very first point. It's like that access point into the rest that's going to spiral out from it. The Yud is also, shares a number value with the wheel card, 10. And the pictorial symbol for the Yud, because every Hebrew letter is associated with a specific hieroglyph or pictorial symbol, is an outstretched hand. It's a hand with a part of an arm stretching out. Whereas the following letter in the alphabet, in the Hebrew Aleph Bet, represents the open palm. But this is an outstretched hand. So perhaps you can take a moment to visualize with me this outstretched hand being the one that spins the wheel of fortune. It's like the hand of God is spinning this great wheel in the sky, but as a microcosmic reflection of this divine source, we also are spinning that wheel. And it's all about new beginnings, for sure, because what is a 10 but a 1 when you reduce it to a single digit? 1 through 9, 10 begin again. 10 is 1 with a 0, and zeros are simply, in Kabbalah they put it that zeros represent the maximum potential of the number before it. So 10 then would represent the maximum potential of the 1. It's that eternal wheel, because the 1 is infinitely expanding. Our potential is limitless, and that is what the Yud represents. The unlimited potential within the smallest letter of the Aleph Bet. So it's not just about a new beginning. 10s are always endings and new beginnings. It's also about knowing that we are like I said, although there is this great hand of God spinning that larger wheel, we are also taking the smaller wheel within that wheel. So not only is it about an ending and a beginning, it's about knowing where you stand at that point. Knowing that you have the ability to turn the wheel this way or that. You have the ability to direct your fortune. So certain things you would want to consider if this is coming up as the challenge and the gift would be, how empowered do I feel right now to make my own decisions, to direct my own fate, to manipulate in a positive way, right? Redefine the word perhaps. To manipulate my own fortune, for better or for worse. Am I feeling maybe like out of control and that I am just being taken by the wind and I feel helpless, hopeless? Do I feel like my luck is just crap lately? Or do I feel on the positive end of things? I feel empowered. I feel like my hands are on the wheel. I do understand how to take the wheel of my life. I am looking, as the wise ancient ones did, as the old sages did, I am looking to the pattern that's within me and all around me. And I'm using that information, that ability to see that pattern, I'm using that to my advantage to make sure that I align my efforts, my thoughts, my words, my actions with this cyclical rhythm of life so that all of nature becomes my ally to support me in my process. So we're either on one side or the other. We feel like we're on this ride, we're riding the wheel, and we have no control. We have no control. We're spinning out of control, right? Or we feel like, no, I'm going to take accountability. I'm going to take hold of the wheel. And I'm going to use all the knowledge I have and all the wisdom within me. And to the best of my ability, I'm going to, again, align my efforts with the rhythm and cycles of the universe and nature to capitalize on what's already there. Rather than resisting what's happening to me, I'm going to be wiser than that. I'm going to open up and I'm going to allow this new ending and beginning. And I'm going to assist the universe in its natural process as it unfolds through me. So Yud, being the challenge, is saying, look, it's a starting point. It's like the dot in the middle of the wheel. That dot is you. You are the center. It is you. So how are you going to remember? Just as God has his hand on the great wheel, so too do you have your hand on the smaller wheel as the microcosmic reflection of the macrocosm. So that's the challenge right now, ending and beginning, the wheel. Again, if you want to know more about the wheel of fortune, now would be a super appropriate time to reach out, private message me, and ask for the recording of last Wednesday's class, which was on the wheel. Okay, so that's the challenge. The next question, which we already pulled the card for, is what are we about to build? So I know it's flipped because it's on the camera, so you're getting kind of a funny mirror image here. This is the hay, and this letter came up last week for the activation. For those of you who were there, you might remember I was saying hay is like the breath of God, that whisper of intuition, the voice inside. It's the inner teacher. The pictorial symbol for hay is a man with outstretched arms like this, with his, not just outstretched, but raised above his head, right? Like in praise, praising. And the hay is connected to the Hierophant. It's the 5th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, so it shares that number value with the Hierophant. And again, it's all about that inner teacher. So this coming up in the position of what are we about to build? The heart's compass. That's what I call the Hierophant. That initiation within the tarot, the royal path, the story, the cyclical story of the tarot, when you reach that point in the story, it's about developing the heart's compass. Because what comes next? The 6, the Vav, also known as the 2 paths or the lovers in modern tarot. That's when we come to the crossroads or the fork in the road and we need to make a decision. And depending upon how we access the previous initiation of the Hierophant or the inner teacher, we will either go this way or that, on that path, on that crossroads. So this has to come first before we're prepared to plunge ourselves into the world of appearances and the world of duality. We must make sure that we focus inward and listen to the voice of the inner teacher. And from there, after we develop that connection and relationship with that inner teacher, allowing ourselves to be that vessel for divine transmission, for that voice to be the one that leads, for that voice to come through us into expression through our senses. 5 is also the number of our senses. 5 earthly, worldly senses, because we are the vessel for this inner teacher to speak through using our senses. Without our bodies, without our being, without our awareness, there's no body, there's no vehicle for this information to actually be crystallized in our reality. So that really is what the 5 is about here too, our senses, knowing that we are the instrument for this inner teacher to speak through, to materialize things through. 5 also, think of a star, has 5 points, like a 5-pointed star. You are the star. You are the 5th element. There are 4 elements, and then you are the 5th, the vessel, the vehicle for their merging, for their synergistic merging, and then for that to be actualized into our world. So you could think of a star too. And for those of you who are really into the tarot, you may remember the star card. Often when I post this card, I get a lot of people saying, oh, that's my favorite card, it's my favorite card. Well, I'm not surprised, because this star is the light inside. The star in tarot comes after the tower. 16 is the tower, when everything that's not sustainable falls. What you've been building wasn't worth it, and so the universe makes sure that is put to a halt. Everything comes crashing down, and we come to 17 after 16, the tower, and 17 is the star, and that's where we turn inward and remember that no matter what falls, no matter what is destroyed, that light inside can never be destroyed, and it's that very light inside which guides the way through the night, which, by the way, what is the following card after the star? The moon, which reminds us that we have to travel through the darkness of the night, and we'll need that light of the star inside. Okay, so you can think of this inner teacher as it's connected to the star or that light inside. You are the star. 5 points. Hey, 5. Letter hey, number 5. You are the 5th element. Okay, so just to sum it up and see how these two cards we pulled connect together. Challenge is the wheel, a new beginning. And through this challenge of starting a new cycle, letting go of old ways, surrendering and opening up to be receptive to the new, to assist the universe in what is inevitable. In order to do that, our best, we're building this heart's compass. We're working away to refine our heart's compass, because these cards are always within us, right? So they're always applicable to our experience. So each moment, the Hierophant or the hey or that inner teacher, breath of God, is present. So of course, we're always working to reach that next level of initiation within each of these concepts of archetypal wisdom. So we're always working to develop our heart's compass. Of course, each moment, it's part of the package. It's part of the purpose, why we're here. But it's just saying that right now this is highlighted. We're particularly refining our heart's compass because we are going to come to a crossroads. We're going to have to make a decision. And that decision, what it's going to look like on the outside is going to be a reflection of what we're creating right now, okay? As we accept this new beginning, as we accept this time to turn the wheel, and we better do it with our fullest presence and our fullest heart, because this is it. We have to take the wheel. It's up to us. There is no one else who could do this for you. So once we turn that wheel, authentically knowing that it's going to be for the best, knowing that we've done our best to spin that wheel in the right direction, then we're going to manifest a crossroads that's going to lead us into the crystallization of this new beginning. So this challenge of starting anew has to first take place in the mind, like all things, right? So first, that's the challenge, accepting it in our minds, preparing mentally, visually, emotionally, setting the stage for that change to take place, right? Because we don't actually manifest things. Things already exist. All things already exist simultaneously as one in an alternate dimension, right? So we're just creating the space, the setting to attract that frequency to us. So that's what we're doing now inwardly. That's the challenge. We are preparing to turn the wheel. And once we do, there will be maybe not just one crossroads, maybe many decisions we have to make now in order to bring in, materialize, crystallize this new vision that we've now accepted into our hearts and into our minds. So of course it makes sense that before we are faced with those decisions, we get in tune with that breath of God within, whatever you want to call it, that light of Hashem, the light of the One, the light of the spiritual sun, whatever you want to call it, that's inside of you. And so we do best right now to really listen to the inner teacher, listen to that inner voice, and let it guide us so that when we do meet those important decisions, when we are faced with these crossroads, and there will be many, big and small, we are given the opportunity to remember this moment and to say, oh, I'm ready for this. I prepared for this. I've got to just listen to that inner teacher and I will know the way to go. And when we do this and we visualize this, we set it up in such a way that we're sending positive energy into the future of these moments. There's a symbol in Reiki called the Honshaze Shonen, and it's a symbol that, somebody remind me, and I'll share that video on the Royal Path private group page. The Honshaze Shonen, it's a symbol that helps you to send energy across time and space, distance symbol. So you can do this for the past or the future, or for right now if you're sending energy to someone, who's far away or in the other room. It's just a really cool aid because, look, you don't need the symbol. But masters have been using this powerful symbol for hundreds of years, so why not learn about it and use it, right? It's another tool for your tool belt. And so that's what we're doing when we picture these crossroads and we lock this information in right now. We're planting that seed so that we're best prepared, so that we feel confident when we come to these crossroads, so that when we're faced with these decisions, we don't just freak out or freeze up, become paralyzed in fear, because I don't know which way to go. No, we'll have sent that energy in the future, and it's almost like you're sending in a double of yourself who's going to turn to you, that inner teacher, right? It's going to turn to you and say, you prepared for this. You know what you're doing. Of course you know which way to go, and all you need to do is remember the hey, the breath of God. Hey, right? The pictorial symbol associated with hey is the man with his arms up like this, right? So a fun visual meditation you could do, and I'm going to do it, is when you come to those crossroads, those important decisions, remember the hey and the man with his hands over his head, or the woman, whoever you are, and seeing that reflection of yourself, that inner teacher raising their hands and going, hey, 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 breathe. You know what to do. Just listen to me, who is you, your inner self, that inner teacher, your highest self, your heart's compass. So when you meditate on that and you do that, it could help you to come out of those anxious spaces of thought, of feeling, where you start to freeze up or freak out and have anxiety because you don't know that you're going to be prepared to make the important decisions you need to make. Or, you just start to spiral downward because you just start to doubt yourself, and that fear creeps in. But instead, we can fill ourselves with the knowing that this inner teacher is always there, always present, in fact, eager to help you, eager to be your ally. Because not only are we here for this, not only is it our purpose to learn to open up to these higher energies, these archetypal energies, these pieces of wisdom that live within us. Not only is it our purpose, it's their purpose too. They are one with us. They are us. So just as they are our allies to get through our life experience individually and collectively as one collective consciousness, we are also their allies. So for example, when you say, I don't remember this feeling inside of me, this breath of the one, this breath of God, I don't feel connected to my inner teacher. That inner teacher is in there. And that part of you that is one with you, can never be separated from you, is going, the heck? Okay, and you may be going, what is she talking about? This is crazy. But would it really hurt to think that way? To personify this archetype within you so that you build this relationship? No, this is real psychology, y'all. This is not just spiritual evolution, it's psychological evolution. So you can connect with these parts of yourself by forming a relationship with them, by personifying them. It creates neural pathways which literally act as a bridge between you and not just this archetype within you, but the original source of that archetypal wisdom, which we are all connected to, which we can all tap into. So yes, personify them. See that inner teacher going, the heck, man, how are you going to leave me out? How are you going to sit there and act like I'm not right here? How are you going to whine and complain that you're not enough, that you don't know which way to go, that you have no wisdom? Hello, I'm right here. Know this. There is a part of yourself inside. When you put yourself down, when you doubt, that part is saying, hey, wait, hold on, wait. Hello, hey, right? Hands up, hey. That part of you is doing that. And so it is with all of these cards, with all of these archetypes. When you turn down your courage, when you doubt your ability to have faith or to trust in the divine plans unfolding, when you doubt your ability to forgive yourself and to repent and to continue on the path even after you've been struggling for so long, when you're in that dark place, know that all of these allies are watching you going through this, and they're holding space, and they're not mad, because there is no such thing as time. Take as long as you want to learn these lessons, right? They're not sitting there literally mad at you. It won't do you any good to think that these parts of yourself are condemning yourself. That's no good. Then there's inner conflict, right? That's not going to do anything. But instead, know that they're in there holding space, and they're waiting to help you. They are eager to help you. This is why they're here. This is why we are here together as an alliance. So any chance they can get to help you, know that they're waiting right there. Whenever you feel doubt or fear or anxiety or anything less than your highest good, your highest self, know that there's one ally, two allies, maybe three allies, sometimes the whole deck, waiting there, saying, which one? Who do you need today? Who do you want to use? Use me, they're saying, for the highest good. So whenever you are not feeling your best, ask yourself, who is the ally? And if you're unsure, go deeper into that feeling that's not so good and ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What is this that I'm feeling? And try to pinpoint what it is. Is it a lack of confidence? Is it a feeling of helplessness? Is it a feeling like everything's crashing down around me? Okay, start there. And if that's where you are, for example, you might want to look at the tower, okay? You'll look at the negative manifestations of each of the cards. And that's where you'll find your connection to the story or the tarot, the wheel, rotate, wheel, right? That's where you'll find your access point, and you'll jump in and you'll tip the scales. You will find the neutralizing force. You will look at the positive aspect of that challenge and you will call that in. So like I said, if you're feeling like your life is crashing down, like everything you've been working so hard for weeks, months, years, it's all crashing down, look to the tower and say, okay, well, what does this card have to tell me? What is its wisdom? What's the gift within the challenge? And the tower is your ally who will remind you that, okay, it's falling, it's inevitable. It wasn't sustainable. It's time to accept that. You didn't listen to the whisper of truth inside, and you got carried away, and now that life has to crumble down because it's not serving the highest good. So let it go. And remember that next comes the star, and you'll remember who you are, and it will all be okay, and you'll begin again, right? So there's always a piece of wisdom hidden within the challenge. The opposite always lies hidden within, right? Law of hermetics. So know that there's always an ally waiting for you. I don't want to go on and on too much. Just a little recap. We only pulled 2 cards tonight, the Yud and the Hey, which, by the way, Yud, Hey, by the way, Yud is 10, Hey is 5. Hey is half of the Yud. Interesting connection, right? So we're turning the wheel, we're spinning the wheel, and we're going to do our best to remember that we have the ability to direct our fate in a positive direction, to direct our fortune and the collective fortune toward blessing, toward goodness, toward success, toward prosperity. And when we turn that wheel, we've got to know that decisions are going to have to be made in order to truly actualize this change. And we're going to be prepared because this month, this new moon is showing us it's all about, hey, remembering the inner teacher, the hey, the breath of God. I shared this last week. Sarah, one of the matriarchs in the Torah, she didn't have the hey in her name until she was initiated into motherhood. And so when you're fecundated with life, right, she was literally impregnated, she had that breath of God inside her, right? So that was her initiation. So she got the H or the hey added to the end of her name. Avraham as well. His name was not Avraham. His name was Avram. And then his name became Avraham. So he also got that when he was initiated into the patriarchy. So it's an initiation. It's that point on the path where you reach the next level of connection to your inner wisdom and the inner teacher. So that's what we're connecting to right now as we come to these inevitable crossroads that are going to pave the way to a new life, a new beginning. If you want to know more about the Hebrew letters and how they connect to the tarot, I do give a little bit of a description for each of the cards in my book, The Royal Path, Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within. You can find it on Amazon. You can also order it directly from me. I'll write you a little note inside. My book was written to show you that the tarot is not just a deck of cards. Tarot means royal path, and we're all walking it, whether we're aware of it or not. There's only one direction. There's only one road, although it looks like many in this world of appearances. And my goal was to, with this book, was to help people understand that life is the royal path. It is your tarot. Universal symbolism is the language that will unite us. Symbolism is the universal language. So if you want to know more about that, you can check out my book. You can reach out to me, private message me. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. we go live on Zoom. That's 11 a.m. Arizona time. We go live on Zoom, and we have an awesome class on the occult symbolism within the tarot. We just did the wheel last Wednesday. So this Wednesday coming up, we will be doing 11, which you guys know in modern decks as justice, but that's not the case. That's actually a manipulation, which I also have videos about. You can reach out to ask me for them. They're also on my YouTube channel. 11 is actually in ancient times the enchantress, aka strength. So that's going to be next week on Wednesday's class. That's 2 days away. If you want the information, if you want the Zoom link, let me know. I'd be happy to send you information about how to get that and how to jump into our classes. We now have 13 classes in our archive. Every single class is recorded. So if you want to go deeper with the tarot and you never have before, great. You want to go deeper with the tarot, you're already a professional, great. I mean, it's for anybody. It's for anybody because the information that's shared is unique. It's a unique compilation of information. All the people that join the class bring an amazing perspective to the class. It blows my mind every week. So there is no experience like it. If you want to get in on our classes, go ahead and private message me. I will send you the very first class and you can take it from there. If there's a particular card that you want to know more about or character that you want to know more about, you can do that as well. If you want to jump in on Wednesday for Arcanum 11, the Enchantress, aka Strength, let me know. This card is going to be all about tapping into your ability to be a vessel for divine transmission. Okay, think of the number 11. It's a reflection. If we want to reflect the 1, right? You get the number 11 when we reflect the divine 1. It's like a gateway too. As above, so below. As within, so without, right? And so it's all about how to purify and transform yourself, raise your frequency to be this transmitter of the divine, to reconnect with source, to really find your true strength, which is way beyond the physical. And this is for men and for women. All of these archetypes are within us, the masculine archetypes and the feminine. We are made of these polarities. All of existence is made of these opposite but equal forces of polarity. And so they are just, these cards are pictorial and personified representations of these aspects within our mind and within the collective mind. So when we do these weekly activations and we tune in to these cards, to these specific messages, or when we do the Wednesday classes and we as a collective dive deep into that particular part of the story, we as one are uniting and reaching this primordial source of power and energy. And it is so profound. It is so profound. If you want to know more about who's in the class, what we talk about, what the energy's like, I have a private group on Facebook. Feel free to join. It's also on my wall. You can scroll down a bit. It's called The Royal Path, of course. And like I said, the Royal Path is tarot. In ancient Egypt means the Royal Path. I also have a private group called Shabbat Crew. Somebody's asking for the book title. The Royal Path. Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within. You can feel free to private message me and I can send you a link. Or you can screenshot that after this video is done going live. My other private group, as I was saying, is Shabbat Crew. Shabbat Crew. That's also on my wall. It is a group where we discuss more the Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, and I post in there mainly on Shabbat. So every Friday night, at Friday sundown, you will get the current Torah story of that time, and you will see how it relates to these activations. You will see how aligned it is, because the Torah is a very powerful technology. And so that group's more around the Torah and the Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. So the two groups, again, are the Royal Path and Shabbat Crew. Go ahead and join us in those groups. Feel free to share, check it out, let me know what you think. Thank you guys for turning the wheel with me, for assisting the one in calling in this new chapter, spinning us into a cycle of good fortune and prosperity. And thank you for doing it from that space of the inner teacher, from allowing that inner teacher to be the one who reaches out through you and turns that wheel as one with you, with me, with us. Thank you guys for opening this portal with me. If you think anyone could benefit from this message, friends, family who are awakened, or who could just use a little uplifting message tonight, go ahead and share it with them. Whatever groups you want to share it in, I'm down. I just want to get this message out to the brothers and sisters all over the world who are looking for stuff like this, who are looking to join hands with us and open up such a magical portal. This is every week too. So the more people we get on board, the more we are, like I said a minute ago, collectively, together as one, diving deep to connect to these primordial sources of energy that exist at the foundation of all of life. So that's been my goal over these last few years with these activations, is to create a worldwide web so that we can together touch these sources which ultimately affect the entire universe when we tap into that. I see someone asking, how advanced do you have to be to learn this? My son knows this better than me sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Kids know this. Kids know this. We get in their way. Anyone could understand, especially with my book. I wrote it in such a way that anyone who wanted to get in touch with this archetypal alliance within, beyond divination or a deck of cards, could do that. And I'll tell you, I've had specific reviews from many different people who have said that they never even were really interested in tarot, that they were afraid of tarot, or that they didn't understand it, but that my book finally opened up that world for them in a way that was easy and more graceful than they thought. Like, wow, I can do this. Yeah, you can. That's why I wrote this book, to show you that anyone can do it. It's easy. It's just about opening up your mind, opening up your heart, and connecting to the many within the one, the different angles or angels of awareness that are within you. So you don't have to be advanced at all. If you want more information on the class or the book, prices, private readings, any of that kind of stuff, go ahead and private message me, or you can also feel free to email me at bexmagic@gmail.com. That's BEXMAGICK, bexmagic@gmail.com. I am taking one-on-one personal readings right now, and there are a couple different options for that, so if you want to know more information on that, go ahead and message me. It's a great time to do a one-on-one personal reading because it is the new moon, it is the new cycle. We just did this collective activation, and so I'll be able to see very specifically so how your process is connected to the collective process. So it kind of just takes you deeper into what we just discussed. So let me know if that's you, if you want to reach out and go deeper. I'm here, I'm available, and I'm ready to assist. Thank you all for doing the same, for helping me to assist the one tonight. And I will see you for Wednesday's class on Arcanum 11, the Enchantress. Shalom.